This is my house from Google Earth, and I can tell that this is several years old because this picture was taken the day that my neighbors cut down all the trees in my front yard. And I can see a little tiny shadow from a mango tree that they planted there, and this big pile is all my wonderful trees chopped down and left out in the road to be picked up and taken away. And so now if I zoom out, you can see more of my neighborhood. And my house is right there. That's my canal. And then this canal goes out to this nature area. It's called the Ulume Wildlife Sanctuary. And it's a big marshy area. And all of this marsh in the middle is almost impossible to get to. Along this canal, there's this berm. You can see like a white line is sort of a walking trail that goes back to here, a parking area here for the wildlife area. And this is Sykes Creek. What used to be a bridge is now like a fishing pier, and this is the main bridge. And you can kind of see like that walking trail, and even back here where once again my canal, those canals, and then this. You can see a line of trees between this canal and this marshy area. And that's a berm that's made out of material that was dug out to make this canal. This is how they built Florida. It was all swampland like this, and they dug out these canals to dredge up dirt to fill in where the houses are. So to get into this swampy area, you actually have to drag a boat over the berm. You can't get in there with a power boat or a sailboat or anything other than like a kayak or a canoe that you could actually pick up and carry over that berm. And there's all these linear features in here that I noticed on Google Earth. And those are apparently channels that started to get dug out. Somebody was going to develop this area and then stopped for some reason. And so there's these little canals, these linear features are little canals through here with a berm next to them, a little stretch of land next to them, and there's no way to get in there without dragging a boat over the berm along the side of this canal. But if you had a small boat, a deployable module that you could pick up and carry over the berm, you could get into these linear canals, and that would go out to the more natural part, you know, these open stretches of water. And so I decided that I've lived here for years and years and never really investigated this area much. So today I was going to take a small kayak that my brother gave me and throw it in the canoe that I repaired with the plastic welding and paddle my way out to along this canal here and try to get into one of these linear channels with the kayak, and then I could paddle around and explore this area. So that is the plan for today. Oh yeah, those ants are making a nest in the flotation foam. They love to dig little tunnels and things. There. The deployable module. Okay. These guys have a really nice patio above their dock. It actually hangs out a bit over the canal, which gives them a lot more space up top. It's really, really nice. Oh, and there's that manatee. Okay. Let's see if he'll let me paddle right up to him. There's an alligator over there. This little floating island coming up is actually a manatee. He blends in so good, it's hard to see him. Okay, I just stopped to get some close-ups of how this seawall is tied back. Tiebacks are big metal rods that extend back 15-20 feet into the yard and have a big plate on the end that's buried, and it prevents the wall from falling outward. And in this case, this is the tie back, and they have it going through these pilings, and there's a board right along the water line behind the pilings retaining this, and another board up at the top just next to the seawall cap. And I think there you may be able to see behind this piling is the tie back extending through the wall. Here we got this one real close. That's the tie back. And it's a real nice way to retain the wall because the pilings are on the outside, and then everything bolted inboard of the piling is held in place by the tie back. And it's really just the pilings, a board down there, a board up there, and then these vertical boards behind them. And this ends our lesson on wooden seawall construction. It is bulging out in a few places. So I suppose that is one of the disadvantages of wood. And these pilings are getting all this fluffy stuff that I was having on mine. Okay, onward. Yeah. Okay. So this is it. We have arrived around the corner from any houses. And this is the berm that separates the accessible canal from the wildlife area. Dolphins. No camcorder. Damn it. There he is. There he goes. All right, ashore to reconnoiter if I can. Only a little bit sketchy, right? All right. This is the top of the berm. Surprised to see such a well-worn trail. There's the marshy area. I don't see the little canal I'm looking for, unless that's it and it's dry. Okay, check out the path for a ways. A little bit further along. I'm in sawgrass now, so I have to be careful walking through it. But there is a little trail down here, which leads me to believe this path is actually a gator trail. And I see water down here. So going to see if this is the channel I was looking for. It's hard to say if it was. It's grown in with whatever that grass is out there. I mean, at this point, I'm a third of the way over there, so. All right. The little gators will run away, but the big ones will chase after you. Oh yeah, I see lots of gator tracks here. And I'm almost to the tall grass. Okay. Did not expect this. Hello, snakes. Making noise so you hear me coming. Don't want to startle any snakes. Hey, this is the grass that's in my lawn. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I mean, Google Earth definitely showed channels cut through here at one point. Making noise. Don't scare any snakes. Making noise. Coming through. Hello. Hi there. So that's what it looks like back that way. And all around the perimeter, really. There's mangroves back there, so there might be water there. But, damn. If I had snake boots, I might be more inclined to wander around here more. But I'm not seeing a channel I can paddle the deployable module through. Okay. I think back to the boat for now. That's interesting. This really is the same stuff that's in my lawn. This is the starter grass that you get if you've got nothing but sand and you seed this in and then it grows and then you've got some shade and a base to plant real grass. And these, I know these are those decorative grass things that everyone puts around their house. And at the right time of year, they grow really fluffy things and the seeds spread on the wind. Okay. Making noise. Do not startle snakes. Let them know you're coming. Make some noise. Alright, just a little side trip over here. I can show you this. This tramp down grass, that's a gator trail. And this is probably what's left of one of those little channels. And the reason it's not filled in is gators come in here and throw sediment out. They make these little holes so they have a place to live in the dry season, which is now. And I don't see a gator in there now, but they will have several of these holes and move from hole to hole, looking for anything they can eat. And if it's a big gator, that would be me. Okay, making noise. Don't startle any snakes. You snakes hear me coming. So just quietly slither out of the way. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to be quiet or stealthy because I don't want to startle any snakes. Where was my path back through here? The path through the woods is never the straight one, but the one with fewer things in your way. That's here. More gator tracks. Okay. Oh yeah, these are very recent gator tracks. to get over there from here. I don't even remember how I got there before. This looks direct, although a tight squeeze. Okay, there is the path. Okay, so what do I want to do next? Walking's easier than paddling. Oh yeah, a big one went through here. There's no way people are going through there frequently. These are definitely gator trails. Right. And I'm continuing further down the trail because walking is easier than paddling. See you in a few. Okay, so I pulled off the path again here because there's big water here, relatively. But that's it, that's as far as it goes. I could wade in here with a tripod and make a fake Clyde Butcher picture. Because pretty famous for that. That area, once you're past these nearby branches, that area back there is kind of interesting. I don't know what those trees are. Maybe a kind of mangrove. They're like these. And they're not really growing in the water, but in that marshy stuff, and their roots are stabilizing whatever falls in there and making soil. Okay. Back to the path and moving on. I'm past the sawgrass and into a friendlier part of the path. Okay, I don't know how far down the path I am, but it's hard to see with the camera, but that looks promising, so I'm going in. Is there room to get the module through here? I think probably yes. And I could easily get to the edge of something here. Although this is suboptimal, because I would really like to launch the module in water rather than drag it through the mud. Oh yeah, and some very good tracks. But that looks like it goes out that way quite a ways. Let me fight my way through the underbrush this way. We'll be launching the module through here. I don't know that it can be done. All right. What's that noise? Maybe it's that dolphin again. All right. Just try and get some video of the channels I'm talking about. Yeah, that is definitely one. Damn, stuff grows up thick around here. I mean, it was everything I could do to squeeze myself through here. Alright, but that is a definite water channel. Yeah, and dragging the kayak through this mud. Not fun, but yeah, there is a channel I can get to if I need to. I think I'm going to go further down the path and look for an easier one to access. But this is promising. They're not all filled in, apparently. Right. And I just found a spot where there's a trail going off at 90 degrees to this main trail. So I'm just going to see what's out there. And this is between two bits of water. That's a little pond that I had investigated. One of several along the way, like that first one I put on video. And this, let's see where this goes. This might be one of those canals with a trail next to it. Somebody was going to develop this area, and they dug out canals and mostly piled it up to make berms like this. Yeah, this water's going on for a ways. I'm going to continue down this trail and see where it leads. I'll turn the camera back on if I get anywhere. Nothing on this side, but definitely pretty wide water on that side. So, see you in a bit. Okay, this is that side path. And it's definitely leading somewhere, because look at this. This has been mowed. Yeah, and that's a culvert. It lets water flow from there to there. And I think I know where I am. You can drive to this nature area, the Ulu Wildlife Sanctuary. And I don't think you're supposed to drive out here, but they do have maintained paths, and someone has definitely been mowing this. So yeah, dragging the module over to drop it in here. Waste of time. I can just drive it over in the car and toss it in up that way. Another culvert. I wonder if that's Sykes Creek or if that leads to more of that surrounded water. I think this is the land that surrounds the water, though. Now, there was an outer berm between here and Sykes Creek. I'm going to have to check Google Earth when I get I know where I am. Yeah, I see those stadium lights are at a school near here. And yeah, there is a lot more out this way. That line of trees might be the next berm before Sykes Creek. And this is obviously wet much of the year. So since it's the dry season, I can walk out here. Oh yeah, those are gator trails through this muck. Okay. Well, so much for the expedition. Maybe it can be approached from the Sykes Creek side. Although there will be houses that can see. So if I pull up and drag something over the berm, somebody will call cops for sure, because that seems to be what people do around here when there's nothing else to do. Alright. I don't know. Where is that? I don't think that's that canal that my canoe is on. So it's not like I could just paddle here, as far as I know. Well, I'm here. I'll go further. I'll turn the camera back on once there's something to see. Okay. So, I've just come to this very big water. And I don't know if you can see very well, but there's a canal out that way. This might be a place that I had taken the canoe once before. It's about, I think that leads back to the channel where the canoe is parked now. And yeah, okay. Well, this makes a curve up there. Do I want to go and see? Why not? Okay, and so the curve in the road led around another curve and then here. This is a pretty big body of water. Well, with a fish at least. And some houses way over there, and right near the houses are those stadium lights at the little school. So I think we've run out of wilderness. And since this part is mowed and maintained and stuff, I can see any snakes or gators, so I'm going to jog back to where the unmaintained path starts. And I don't know if there'll be anything new to show on the way back to the boat. But if there is, I'll turn the camera on. And I guess I'll have another look at Google Earth when I get home and try to figure out where the heck I've gone. Because I was expecting something very different. Okay. Heading back, and we'll turn the camera back on if anything exciting happens, like being eaten by a gator or bit by a snake, or I don't know, whatever. All right, end of the joggable trail. Beginning of the gator and snake trail. Okay. Okay, these are air plants, and they appear to be growing on these branches, but their roots just anchor them in place. All the material that makes these plants comes from the air. It's dissolved in rain, fixed nitrogen from lightning strikes, and carbonic acid as carbon dioxide dissolves in the water. And so they have nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen, everything they need to become a plant. There's lots of different air plants in Florida. These are some of the more common ones. A lot of times people will come out here and gather them and then sell them through the mail to people who live in places where these would seem like an unusual pet plant. Just covering that. Yeah. This plant here is Brazilian pepper, and it's an invasive species. Oh geez, there's a ton of it in there. Where does it even go back to? Over there. The problem is it chokes off all the local plants. The birds eat the seeds and then poop them out, and a Brazilian pepper plant will grow. And it's choking off all the open spaces in Florida. You used to be able to walk through, not areas like this, but more in the middle of the state with canopy kind of tree thing, and an open middle story, and then just scrub down knee high, right? You could see a long way, but it's being choked off with these. Okay, and this is it. End of the side path. And I could continue down that ways and see what there is, but I got a pretty good idea. Okay, just heading back to the boat, I think. I forgot the camcorder at the dock and my paper towels for drying off cameras, which fortunately I haven't needed. And yes, there are mosquitoes here, in case you were wondering. That's a giant fern. Just a little piece of one hanging on. Okay. Oh, what a cute little palm tree with a fern on it. This would be a good spot to park the canoe by the two palm trees. 3, 4, by the palm trees. I see little movements in the water. Oh, they're more excited now that they see me moving. They're just tiny little minnows. I guess they feed the fish that the dolphin was eating. That's a palm tree. And here is what a palm tree looks like when it's first starting out. That, if it makes it, will grow up into one of those. Okay, just for fun, this is another palm tree starting out, a little bit bigger than that one that was just starting. And there's its mama. Oh yeah, and one there. Here's another little one. They're so adorable when they're small. And then this one is just a little bit bigger. And once they've kind of cleared the ground, right, the old fronds will kind of break off and get brown and rot and break off. Well, like that one did. And it leaves these around the base. And then the full fronds are open like that, but they grow up as sort of a pointy thing. A stalk like that. And then they start to fan out as they grow. And the fronds grow from a living part right in the center and the top of the tree. On that one, it's way up there. And the rest is just sort of pulpy stuff that is alive and pumps stuff up to what's called the heart of palm. And you can eat that, but it's just a little fist-sized thing up top there, and once you harvest that, you've killed the palm tree. So, not really the most efficient crop in the world. But some people who don't grow them like to come out and harvest wild palms. There's another little palm. Quite a few growing up right here. So I stopped to shoot some video of them. To anyone living in Florida, this is no big deal, but If you live someplace else, palm trees are cool. Like gators and flamingos and pythons now. Okay, this is that channel that I fought my way back in there to get some video of, so I know where I am. I haven't passed the boat yet. I think I have to get to the sawgrass before the boat. But it would be tragic to walk past the boat, because this trail goes in a big ring around this whole wildlife area, and I think the circumference is like 15, 20 miles. And it all looks awfully similar. So if I did walk past the boat, I might walk a long way. More palms. Oh yeah, I think I see the sawgrass coming up ahead. That means I'm getting closer. Yeah. And this is sawgrass. And it literally has little teeth on the very edges of the grass. And it will slice through your skin if you're not careful how you walk through here. Of course, with snakes and gators, it would be foolish to run through sawgrass anyway. Oh, this one has seeds on it. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but that's cool. Try to get a good view of that. I don't know why. Okay, past the sawgrass, looking for the canoe. I think it was a ways before I got to the sawgrass. Next time, I should bring something to leave in the trail as a marker. Stop here. Oh, man, there's a whole bunch of little tiny fish. Cool. Oh, I know where I am. That big palm tree over there with the woodpecker hole in it is right across from the canoe. Here we are. The deployable module is still undeployed. Now, can I get back in the canoe without falling in the water? We shall see. My foot is touching it. Does that count? a bit of water here. Okay, so maybe the plastic welding didn't completely stop the leak, but that little hole used to sink this thing in like 3 minutes or less. So this is a big improvement. All right, and I am untied, so this is it. This is just it for me. I'm out of here. All right. And yeah, this goes down and then that way to that other big water that we saw. And I could paddle down that way, but I don't know. I don't think I'm getting into those channels I wanted to see from there, unless I don't know where I am, which is entirely possible. But I think the battery's getting low on this camera, and I didn't bring another one. I think we'll save it for another day and prepare better. Don't leave the camcorder on the dock. Bring some markers for the trail where we leave the canoe. Look at Google Earth so I have a better idea of where I'm going. I don't know. Pack a lunch because it's pretty nice out there. Okay, so we're back to Google Earth. And once again, my house is over here, the main canal, and I paddled out and tied the canoe up somewhere around there. Let me zoom in a bit. So near as I can tell, I went just around the corner and tied the canoe up about there. And then I walked that way. I didn't get to that channel, which really probably should have been my goal. And so, here I can use this pointer. So I parked about there somewhere and then walked along this path. And I passed that channel, was the one that was hard to get to. I guess this one had a lot of mud before you got to the water. This one was too thick with trees for me to get to. And then this is the place where the path continued but had another path leading off at right angles. And that was that little pond on one side, and this is that canal that was on the other side. And I didn't realize that I went around a corner in this path. But then I got to here is where there is where that mowed section was. And that made a turn pretty quick. And I walked along. That was the first curve, and then the second curve, and that's about as far as I got. And then I was taking video across the water at these houses. And this here is the little school where I saw the lights from these baseball fields. And so now I know where I was, more or less. I can remember seeing this big white mound of gravel from the path over here. And either this canal or this one that I hadn't really investigated yet might be good candidates for exploring again. I want to go back there and make another attempt to get into one of these little canals and then out into this area, just to see what's there and explore. And I don't know, looking at it, it might be a wise idea to like get navionics or something on my phone. I know it's a small area, but it would be easy, say, to come out like this canal and paddle around in here for a bit and then start trying to go back on a different one of these, because this area all looks very similar when you're there. It would be easy to get lost. The one time that I forced my way through out into this swampy area, I think, was right here. And I can zoom in on that. Right, as near as I can tell, I forced my way through the trees from the path here. And I walked out to about there. And so these were the trees that were seen off in the distance. And these trees here. And of course there were no canals for me to find out in this marshy area. So that's basically where I was, and I think the first time I go back there I'm gonna try to get into this little canal. There's a lot of trees here, I don't know, but I think I'll make more of an effort to get into one of the canals. I think this was the one that I was most likely to get into of the ones that I visited. And that goes quite a ways before it gets to this open water. And yeah. So at any rate, that's the area where I was. And my attempt to try again. I should print this out and use it as a map next time I go there.